Good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist James Long with Dynamic Weather Agency LLC, and today we're going to be talking about our next potential storm system that could be bringing some heavy snowfall to parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley region within the next 72 hours. That system then looks like it might transition its way across the mid-Atlantic and possibly become a nor'easter type storm, beginning to bring some snowfall to parts of the Northeast Territory region. Not only that, today we're also going to continue to talk about the Pineapple Express transporting moisture across parts of the western United States, bringing some of those high snowfall totals to parts of the Sierra Nevada mountain region. As you can see currently on our national radar, some of those snowfall conditions occurring across parts of the Sierra Nevadas in California. Not only that, there is some blizzard warnings in effect across that region that we'll talk about a little bit later in today's video. And then not only that, we'll also be looking at our next potential system begin to move in behind all of this stuff, begin its way across parts of the southwestern United States and eventually track its way up into the upper Midwest region. Now, as we take a look at our national forecast for the next 72 hours west of the Rocky Mountain regions, mostly we're going to see those mountain snow conditions with this Pineapple Express bringing some moisture across the area, allowing for some of that snowfall across some of those higher elevation regions. We'll also be looking for a disturbance to develop across Nevada into Utah, bringing some snow conditions across that area. You can see that low pressure system across Southern California tracking through parts of Arizona into New Mexico, eventually into the Central Plains region. That's going to be our next potential winter storm system that could be bringing some heavy snowfall to parts of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes region. We're also going to be looking for the potential for some flooding rain across parts of western and southern California. Again, with that moisture coming in with that Pineapple Express or that atmospheric river event we have going on over that region. Further to the south, across parts of the central United States and the southeast, mostly just chances of rain with some of these systems as they move on through with the warmer temperatures down there. So not expecting any snowfall across those regions. Now, talking about our winter weather that we have going on, looking at our National Weather Service current watches, warnings, and advisories. Again, across parts of the Appalachian Mountain region and the Mid-Atlantic, across parts of Virginia and North Carolina, we do have some winter storm warnings in effect for those areas and winter weather advisories. We do have some winter weather advisories across parts of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, for parts of Erie, Pennsylvania, and parts of, New York. And as we move further to the west of the Rockies, mostly seeing some, those winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings affecting parts of, Nevada and California and Idaho today. Again, we see those oranges, near San Jose and Reno. We do have those, blizzard warning conditions for the Sierra Nevadas, mostly affecting areas, up above 4,000 feet in elevation across those areas. So as I've been talking about, this Pineapple Express atmospheric river event going on, you can see this, taking a look at our GOES satellite imagery. This is again taking a look at a water vapor, measuring the amount of water content, within the atmosphere. And, the Pineapple Express basically is this narrow region of atmospheric moisture basically being transported from, the tropical Pacific into the western United States, bringing ample amounts of moisture to this region. And what is happening is, this moisture is interacting with some of that mountainous terrain across parts of California. And that's causing this warm, moist air to rise up and condense into water vapor and clouds, precipitating on that windward side of the mountains, creating some heavy snowfall in those high elevations in that region. And the Storm Prediction Center did issue a mesoscale discussion earlier today for that area of the Sierra Nevadas for the potential for heavy snowfall with rates up to 3 to 5 inches an hour, for those areas above 4,000 feet through tonight. Those are very significant snowfall rates within that region, which is why we see significant snowfall within such a short period of time. And then as we take a look at our 700 millibar winds, this is looking about 10,000 feet up in our atmosphere. The Sierra Nevada mountain range is roughly around 14,000 feet. 500 millibars is looking a little bit higher than that. Looking at about, 18 to 19,000 feet within our atmosphere. But taking a look at 700 millibars, we do have winds approaching 50, 55 knots. These are winds approaching 55 to about 65 miles an hour within these regions. And when we talk about, our blizzard warning, that criteria to meet, a blizzard warning, we got to have either heavy falling or blowing or drifting snow to reduce that visibility within that region to less than a quarter of a statute mile, with gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour, sustained winds up to 35 miles an hour. And all these criteria must meet a time threshold of 3 hours or more. And, with this atmospheric river, with this, ample amount of moisture, we're going to see that heavy snowfall within that region. And with these very strong winds aloft moving across that area, persisting through the nighttime hours, we will see that, be able to reduce that visibility to less than a quarter statute mile across this region, meeting that blizzard warning criteria that we have set in that area. Again, taking a look at our winter storm severity index for day 1, this is today. Major to extreme impacts in the Sierra Nevadas, where they could expect to see some significant snow accumulation across this area, with snowfall accumulations over 2 feet across this area, with some areas that could possibly see about 30 some inches of snowfall with this event over at least the next 24 to 72 hours. Taking a look at our day 2, this is looking at tomorrow, some minor impacts across parts of the Southwest, beginning to see some minor impacts move into parts of the Midwest region, affecting parts of North Dakota, Minnesota, and even to parts of Iowa. And then as we move into day 3, again, just seeing a little bit of those effects across the Mongolian Rim in Arizona, some limited impacts across parts of the Midwest region with this next system beginning to move on through. Now, if you're wondering what do those impacts all equate to, you can, again, pause the video right here. Basically, those minor impacts equate to NWS advisory level criteria, just a little bit of recovery time needed after that, while those moderate impacts roughly equate to NWS warning level criteria. As you saw, basically you could possibly see a day or 2 recovery time. And then, of course, those major and extreme impacts are going to cause significant impacts to daily life within those areas, with several days of recovery time due to the significant amount of snowfall that you can see across those areas. Now, as we take a look at our weather models for, forecasted accumulated snowfall within the next 72 hours, looking at about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 31st of January. The European model is, depicting heavy snowfall across the Sierra Nevadas and some of those higher elevations west of the Rocky Mountain regions. But for this, I mostly want to focus on basically what's going on in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley region. As you take a look at the European model, we do have that little bit of swath of snow depicted across parts of Iowa into parts of Indiana. And then you can also see a little bit of snow across parts of the mid-Atlantic states, with a little pressure system that's moving through there today that's eventually going to ride its way up the eastern coast, bringing possibly some snowfall to parts of Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire region, and parts of very extreme eastern Massachusetts. But taking a look at the European model across, that Iowa to Indiana region, you can see is depicting, and we're a good 3 to 5 inches of snow with that purple band right there, depicting, basically, a nice 6 to 8 inches of snowfall within that region. As you take a look at the GFS model, the GFS model moves this track just a little bit further to the north. Again, consistent along the Virginia and North Carolina region with the amount of snowfall within that area. But the GFS model depicting less snowfall amounts across Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, even stretching its way further into Ohio compared to the European model, depicting, basically 3 to 5 inches of snow within this area, not expecting those, 6 to 8 inch swaths within that area. Taking a look at the UK Met, the UK Met is looking rather similar to the European model, with a little bit of a northern track across parts of Indiana, but other than that, the European and the UK Met looking similar. Take a look at the National Weather Service, a blend of models. This is again mirroring a little bit that UK Met and the European model, a little bit more favoring those conditions, with the snowfall moving through Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, even into western Ohio with this next system over the next 72 hours. And then taking a look at the National Weather Service's forecast again, maybe highest swath of an area 3 to 5 inches of snow stretching from Illinois to northern Indiana, maybe into western Ohio. Now, as we take a look at our in-house model for this event, again, further to the west, you can see some of those high snowfall totals across those higher elevations west of the Rocky Mountains. Taking a look at the Sierra Nevadas, again, like we were saying, expecting to see some significant snowfall across the area with snowfall accumulations greater than 2 feet of snow, indicated by that bright pink values, greater than 24 inches of snowfall. Some of these areas can see up to 30, maybe 40 inches of snowfall within the next 72 hours. And then as we take a look at the Northeast and even to the Midwest region and the Mid-Atlantic, we have that nice swath of snow stretching all the way from Iowa to northern Illinois, northern Indiana. You can see that area 3 to 5 in that dark indigo color, with our in-house model depicting a small area of 5 to 6 inches of snow. So picking up a little bit on what that European and UK Met model is, but showing a little bit less snowfall over there, like the Gfs and the National Weather Service blend of models and the National Weather Service forecast kind of shown across that region. Across the Mid-Atlantic region, we do have a small area of 1 to 3 inches of snow from West Virginia into Virginia into parts of North Carolina. And then it's a system that we have currently moving its way off the eastern coast into the northeast. We'll begin to see some snowfall over there. Not expecting significant snowfall within the next 72 hours with that system. Most of that heavy snowfall will stay off the coast, but we could see some 1 to 3 in Maine, with areas right along the coast that could possibly see some 3 to 5, but some temperature mitigations within that area could keep that area within that 1 to 3 inches of snow. So now taking a look at a little bit of our long range. So we have this disturbance moving through kind of the Midwest region today. That's going to begin to move its way into the Mid-Atlantic, where we're expecting to see some of that snowfall that we had on our forecast map. And that system's going to track its way a little bit to the north and to the east. And behind that system, we'll begin to see some nice ridging moving on in, bringing drier and stable conditions across the region. Looking along the western United States, we have this nice deep upper level trough in this area of energy. It's eventually going to, again, like we showed on our national forecast map, move its way across the southwestern United States into the central plains, eventually its way into the Midwest, where we're going to see our next round of snow across this region, eventually moving its way into the northeast, again, where we can see this potential nor'easter event begin to develop, bringing some snowfall to the northeast region. Right behind that system, a nice upper level ridge is going to begin to move its way back on in. See some drier conditions with that and some more stability across the region. And then as we move even farther in time, now looking at the 3rd and the 4th of February, we'll see this nice upper level trough begin to develop again across the western United States. And this area of energy is going to begin moving its way across the central United States into the upper Midwest, where we'll see our next potential for another round of snow. Now, taking a look at the European model solution, again, taking a look at the western United States, you can see that atmospheric river bringing rain and even snow to the Sierra Nevadas. And then we have that disturbance moving across, the Mid-Atlantic region today. That's going to eventually push its way off the eastern coast and right along the east coast, eventually moving its way a little bit into the northeast, bringing some snowfall to that region. Again, we'll be watching that low pressure system begin to develop across parts of the, southwestern United States, bringing that, next low pressure system around the snow to the Midwest and the Ohio Valley region, before transitioning its way into the Mid-Atlantic and eventually becoming this nor'easter type storm system that could bring some heavy snowfall to the northeast of the United States. And then as we continue in through time, we're going to be watching that next disturbance begin to develop across the southwestern United States, again bringing another round of snow to the central plains and even to the Midwest as we move into about the end of the first week of February. And now, as we were talking about, we could expect to see these multiple systems begin on moving through. We got this disturbance moving through the Mid-Atlantic, eventually into the northeast. We have that next potential swath of snow we're expecting to see across the Midwest into the Ohio Valley region with that storm system that could transition to a nor'easter. And then that next storm system forming across the southwest, moving across the central plains into the Midwest region. And, with all these, taking a look at this weather model, basically looking 8 days out, a little over a week at 210 hours, you're going to have to take this model solution with kind of a grain of salt. The weather models this far out, especially past 3 days, even 5 days, start becoming, kind of unreliable. You'll start seeing discrepancies between all the different model solutions. You'll see differences within the models throughout the day, as they continue to adjust and get closer into time. So everything you're kind of seeing right here, you do have to take with a grain of salt with this. Basically what this model solution is showing, possibly some very snowy conditions for the Midwest, especially across, the western United States, across the Cascade Mountain regions and the Sierra Nevadas and the Northern Rockies and the Rocky Mountain region. You can see potential for the possibility of some heavy snow moving across the central United States. And then in the Northeast, you could potentially see that heavy snow with that potential nor'easter moving on through that region. And you do also have to account for some of these areas where you're seeing some of these heavy snowfall. You got to remember, this is, you're possibly seeing multiple systems move on through. So you have snow from one system, maybe a day or two break between that with some melting of that snowfall, and then potential for another system moving on through. So these snowfall totals cannot be, taken as verbatim as this is a solution that is going to happen. This is why, weather models are a tool used for forecasting, but they are not the sole purpose of what you should be using to forecast. Taking a look at these long range model solutions are basically showing you kind of the worst case scenario of what can happen, but suspect, possibility, especially across, the mid-Atlantic and Pennsylvania and stuff like that, we could potentially see some significant impacts of some heavy snow with a potential nor'easter moving through there, even into parts of Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire, across that area too, with some significant snow moving across possibly the upper Midwest with that second system moving on in. And then as we take a look at our severe weather forecast for the next 5 days, we're basically not expecting any severe storms to form across the United States. Again, I would like to thank you guys for checking out today's video. Be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more weather-related content like this or storm chasing videos like you see down below. Be sure to share this video with your friends and family so we can help make them weather aware before the weather actually happens. And last but not least, be sure to check us out on social media, or you can send us your weather-related photos and videos that we'd like to share on our videos in our future and upcoming videos. And check us out online at dynamicweatheragency.com for more weather-related content and information that you can find over there. I'm meteorologist James Longworth with Dynamic Weather Agency LLC, signing off for today. You guys have a great day, and be sure to check out our video tomorrow, where we're going to go more in depth on the storm system that's going to be moving through the Midwest and Ohio Valley region before we begin to talk about our potential nor'easter.